All right, guys, welcome back. I'm going to go over Sick Summer. If you're in the area, you should get to it. I'm going to give you a nice little discount for some tickets if you use my code. And we're going to talk about all of the positives, negatives, all the cool stuff going on and why you should pay attention to it. And if you're watching the live stream like me, I tune in when I can to the live stream. I'm going to give you a little bit of understanding of who to look for, what classes, who to look out for, what cars are of interest, and kind of so on from there. Now, quick little breakdown of Sick Week and Sick Summer. They are made by Sick the Mag, owned by Tom Bailey, and they are the premier drag and drives of the last 4 years, I would say. Sick Summer is a little bit shorter. It's 606 miles as compared to Sick Week, which is about, I think it's 1,200 miles. If you can see behind me, I have my Sick Week Freaks winner's helmet, fastest six-cylinder on property, and I won the Sick Freaks class this year. We were unable to make it, but it is what it is. I hear this event is actually really enjoyable. Everybody says the vibe and the drive days are short, so you get to your places faster. People just say this event is a must experience. The drivers are less exhausted, but the competition that it brings out is a little softer, I would say. Some of the same cars, but less really heavy hitters than Sick Week. If you didn't know, it goes on in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, in Iowa, and Illinois again. It's up in that area. Where's the route? The GPS. Let me click this. Like I said, not a long drive. It kind of putzes around just south of like Milwaukee, and for some reason I thought it was in Michigan. Maybe I'm just an idiot. And then kind of like goes around Rockford. It goes to like kind of in between Cedar Rapids and Milwaukee, and it's got a nice little simple route, and it actually crosses over itself a couple times, which is a very interesting way to do it. The drag strips that it goes to are Byron Dragway in Illinois, then day one, Byron Dragway, which was today as I'm filming this. Tomorrow, which is today as you're watching this, is Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin. Then day 3 goes to Cordova Dragway, then Tri-State Raceway, and then back to Byron Dragway. Again, very worth going. $30 to get in, $35 at the gate. If you use code CBogetti, you get, I think, 10% off. So, worth using. Shameless plug. I get some cash, you get some discount. It's really a win-win if you show up. If not, it's on Freedom Plus. Now, let's talk about some of the classes. They have the same basic classes as Sick Week down in Florida. There's other Sick events, but not all of them do the same, the same format as Sick Week. Now, the classes are Unlimited, Unlimited Iron, Heavy Metal, Modified, Pro Street, which is 850 Limited, I believe. Maybe not. Street, Super Street category, and Stick Shift, Naturally Aspirated, Rowdy Radial, Sick Freaks, Gasser vs. Hot Rod vs. Beatles, and 275 street race category and Sick street race category. Those are, and then they have the Pro Dial Your Own and the Bullseye. Now, let's talk about who to look out for. So, day 1 results are already out, and I got them here, so we can kind of already know what to look out for. Oh, and I probably won't talk about it all that much, but obviously you guys know Ty, Garrett, Zach, and James and George and those guys and Tom Bailey have the cheap car challenge. Obviously, everybody's been following along with that, I would assume. I don't really need to go into it all that much. It's their own it's their own competition between the three of them. 4 cars, just kind of having fun. It's not in any of these classes, but it is going on alongside of it. So if you get the tickets, you can go watch that and hover around, and maybe James will let you touch his nitrous kit. That thing's pretty fast. I was very impressed. Unlimited only has 5 cars in it. The fastest car went 7:30. It's a Fox body, looks like. And I don't know who it is, but pretty crazy. Only 5 cars in Unlimited. Then Unlimited Iron has like 8 cars. Number 1 is Brian Goldstone, which he has won many, many Dragon Drives. Then it's Steve Morris, Alex Taylor, which are the people to watch. For the most part, it kind of gets slower from there. Even Alex Taylor didn't really put down much of a pass. She only went 8:17, which is not going to really cut it. Kind of kills the whole deal there. Brian Goldstone went 6:60. Unlimited went a 7:30 is the fastest pass. Then heavy metal. Number 1 in heavy metal is Rajier in his Oldsmobile, which... Am I reading this right? Oh, no. Sorry, my bad. Heavy metal is Clark Rosenstengel with a 722 in the black Camaro. That thing is really cool. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going to check it out. It's a black 5th gen, but it's a race car. 5th gen as race car is not something you see very much. Super cool. Clark's got a really badass setup there. And then he's got a 7.2. Then behind him is the Chevy Nova. And following that is a Dart. And then it kind of just slows down from there. And then you got Modified. Modified is a really cool class. Number 1 in that is Josh Davis, driver of the Devin Vanderhoof's white Mustang. They have done plenty of Dragon Drives. Little Fox body, convertible. Blew the top clean off that thing today. They were looking for a new convertible top, but they went 660. 3 at 217, which is actually the fastest. Oh no, it's right behind Goldstone. So Goldstone went in the AMC Javelin, went 660. They went 663. So they're probably going to try to get that overall win, which they are going to likely be able to get the overall fastest of the event, which would be really cool to see done by a radial car. Then Modified just immediately slips away from there. They went 660. Following them is a 930. Just crazy issues, I guess, on the first day. Then Pro Street is number 180. I don't know which car this is. It's a Fairmont. And then it goes down from there. Super Street, there's already a couple cars out. Oh, wow. Somebody... in Super Street in the David Dealheil, I believe, the orange Mustang went 690, and Doug Cook is following right behind that in his Nova with a 725. And I know he tried to make a couple passes, couldn't make it happen, unfortunately, and he's going to be chasing that 690 for the rest of the week, I'd imagine. Then you get into stick shift. Bob Gruber is number 1, 882. Number 2 is my boy Damon Elf in his black Supra 2J. Always happy to see a 2J car out and about. He went an 882 or an 890, so he's right there at only 137 getting out of it because I don't know if he couldn't find third or couldn't find fourth. I don't know what happened there, but cool to see. And then followed by a yellow Ford Mustang SVT Cobra, which is always cool. And then it kind of, falls down from there. Blaine Stark is in 4th place with his Chevy 210 at 980. So that's pretty awesome to see a 9. A good showing for stick shift. Ton of cars, naturally aspirated. Nothing like Sick Week. 952 in a Chevelle, which is crazy because Sick Week we saw, I think, a low 7-second pass in Sick Week. Rowdy Radial, Lewis, he is the fuel tech guy. Louis De Leon, he is driving the black, and it says black/sticker covered Mustang out of the Motion Raceworks camp. They call that El Toro. It went 487 at 148. And this Rowdy Radial class is a 235 tire, which is really cool. And it's 8th mile, but it's kind of run what you brung on a 235 in a lot of ways. I think it's still steel roof and quarter and stuff, but really cool class. I think that 235 is a really interesting, difficult tire to manage for a lot of these cars, but it's fun to see it happen, and they got that Fox body dialed in pretty well. I'd imagine Brett's pretty hands-on on that laptop there, but between him and Lewis on the fuel tech on that deal, that's probably a really solid combo. Brett's not driving it, Lewis is, but he is the passenger princess for this. And then second place right behind him is Tanner Stover, also out of Motion Raceworks camp. They have a beef between the two. He went 497, they went 487. He's got the big body Chevelle, which looks really funny on that little tire, and then the class kind of slows down from there. Then 5-1, 5-3, 5-4, but a good class, really fast cars, super cool to see. I'm honestly shocked by El Toro. I'm a little jealous, I'll be honest. That thing works so well. Sick Freaks, my favorite class, kinda. I love that class. It's cool. Number 1, first place right now is Calvin Nelson. You guys know him. He is the 6-cylinder Atlas guy. He has a Pontiac Sunbird with an Atlas in it that he built as a budget deal to try to see if he can build a budget of, like, I don't know, 10 grand to try to run in the Cletus deal, but kind of, it's officially not, it's like not official. He just wanted to see for his own kind of bragging rights and for his own YouTube channel. So pretty interesting. Calvin Nelson, if you look him up, you can see the car. It went 918 at 159. He is currently leading the Sick Freaks class. And then Rob Courtney and his all-wheel drive Honda Civic, the black one, super awesome car. Really like that thing. He is second place with a 940 at 156, so he's not far off from that. And then it slows down from there. We got a bunch of diesels like always, Golf R, Explorer ST, Ram 2500, Grand National, some cool stuff as it goes down. Then you got Gasser versus Hot Rod versus Beetles, which is cool. It's cool seeing the Gassers out there. Some of those guys really have a great time driving those things, and the Gassers are just kind of interesting. Even the Beetles, I had a really good time watching the Beetles rip around on Sick Week. They look like they're having a lot of fun. And then Street Race 275, Jeremy Ortiz also posting some YouTube videos of his whole experience. Nissan 240SX, and this is an 850 class. You can't go faster than 850. Who can get closest average wins the deal. He went 852, and he is currently sitting number 1. Then it goes 853, 855, 882. Honestly, not as tight as Sick Week at all. I mean, 852 to be first is crazy. Sick Week, that was like an 8505 average after day 1. Like, that's what first person put in with one pass. And then it goes Sick Street Race, which I believe is also an 850 average. This one's a little closer to the dial, 851. So they're right on it. And then it goes into Pro Dial Your Own. You pick your dial in and you see how close you can get to your personal dial. And then they have Dial Your Own Non-Pro, which is slower cars trying to dial in. And then they have the Bullseye Challenge, which they give you a number every day, which is the last two numbers, I believe. And it's whoever can get closest to those last two. It could start with anything. It could be a 12, it could be a 10, it could be a 9, it could be an 8. But you have to follow those last two without breaking out of your safety cert. So part of the fun, difficult. Those are kind of the classes as they sit right now. I can go through rules and stuff, but that would take hours. There's some interesting rules. There's some that obviously never make sense, as all rules do. They just try to do their best to make rules suit everyone. Again, if you're listening to this and you're in the Rockford, Illinois, Chicago area, Madison, Iowa area. Des Moines isn't even that far. Cedar Rapids. You should try to get to the track because it's some good weather. There might be a little bit of rain. That's probably why Devin wanted his roof so badly, a new one. I don't know if he has to run with a roof. I can't imagine it being a safety feature, a convertible rooftop. It's always worried me about losing it. But if you're in that area, you should really check it out. I think it's cool. I think you'd enjoy seeing some of the route. It's published on their website, so you can find the route. You can see where the stops are. You can stop at Motion Raceworks. You can partake. You can see what people got going on and check out the cars, get really up close and personal. Those days where they're not at the racetrack that they started are so cool because everybody's just at the event. They are there with their car. They are attentive to the moment and to the situation like no other race is. You're not hiding in the trailer. You're not, not wrenching on the car. You have a directive and you are trying to accomplish it, but you have just your car, and the bags of tools that you brought with you, and it makes it cool. And I highly recommend checking it out. It's such a good event. I wish I could have made it back up there. Obviously, you guys should go check it out. I think it'll be interesting to follow along, and I think that's everything. Remember, code CBogetti, get your discount. I get a kickback, and it's a fun place to go enjoy. Go check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it saucy. I'll see you next time.